American English, American English. Teach and learn American English.
Hi, and welcome to Teaching Tips from American English. These short professional development videos share current practical knowledge and classroom ideas for EFL teachers around the globe. In part 1 of this teaching tip topic, Tabitha Kidwell explains how to increase student motivation and achievement through culturally relevant language teaching techniques. Tabitha examines how to develop healthy relationships with students so that teachers can build a bridge between students' backgrounds, knowledge, experiences, and English language learning. Welcome, Tabitha.
Hi, and welcome. I'm Tabitha. Thanks for joining us today on part 1 of this series. Let's get started. This video series will share culturally relevant teaching ideas to help improve English teaching worldwide. Culturally relevant language teaching means making your instruction match the students' own cultures. That starts with knowing students' cultures and backgrounds, and you must have a strong relationship in place to be able to do that. In this video, I'll show you why building healthy relationships with your students is essential, and I'll share some activities you can do to build stronger bonds with your students. A native Alaskan teacher said, "In order to teach you, I must know you." To be able to teach students, you need to know who they are, and that depends on relationships. Sometimes teachers and students develop a relationship naturally, but you probably know that good relationships do not develop automatically with every single student. Sometimes it takes hard work on the teacher's part. One way to build that relationship is to show students what they have in common with their teachers. Professor Hunter Gelbach and his colleagues did a study where they told a group of students and teachers about things that they both had in common. They found that those students did better academically than another group of students who didn't know about what they had in common with their teachers. That means that teachers don't have to rely on a natural spark of chemistry. They can actually create close relationships by talking to students about what they have in common. So, which of these techniques do you think can help to build relationships with your students? If you said F, you are right. All of these are great techniques to help build relationships with students. For A, if students participate in sports, music, or drama, you can go to their games or performances. Many teachers also spend time with students in an English club or a movie or music club. For B, it's very important that you be polite, open, and friendly with students, and that you always treat all students with dignity. Do everything that you can to avoid embarrassing a student. If you embarrass them, it will be very difficult to build a relationship later. Another good way to connect with students is C, learning about youth culture. Ask students about the music they listen to, the TV shows they watch, the social media they use, and so on. This is a great thing to do because it will also help you feel young yourself. Something that I always do at the beginning of class is D, give my students a survey about their free time activities. I also ask about their favorite movies, music, and so on. Then I read the surveys and make a list of one thing I want to talk to each student about. I think taking the time to have personal conversations with each student helps them see that I care about them as individuals. I think many of you probably begin your courses with E, getting to know you activities. Building strong relationships at the beginning of a class helps you teach more effectively later. So it is an investment worth making. I also encourage you to use those activities for relationship building by showing students what you have in common with them. I'm going to share some example activities you could use to do this. The first activity I'd like to share is called Common Ground. Students should be in small groups of 3 to 4 people, and you should ask each group to make a list of things they have in common. For example, eye color, shoe sizes, or gender. Encourage them to seek unusual things they have in common too, like being a twin, disliking vanilla ice cream, or being afraid of clowns. The groups will have 15 minutes to make their lists, and when time is up, each group will present their list to the class. The group with the most items in common wins. To maximize student-teacher relationship building, be sure to also tell students about which items they have in common with you. The next activity is called Find Someone Like You. For this activity, students start by writing a number of sentences about themselves. Then they stand up and practice speaking by asking other students if the sentences are true for them. For example, do you like French fries? They'll continue until they find someone who says yes. Then they'll write a sentence about that student. So, Leah likes French fries. The first student to find someone who has each sentence in common with them is the winner. Then the teacher should comment on the papers and return them so that students can see what they have in common with their teacher. You could even make a list, like I do with my surveys, and try to talk to every student about what you have in common. That would be a great way to start making a relationship at the beginning of the semester or school year. So today, we talked about the benefits of building healthy relationships with your students. And I shared some activities that can help you do that. I hope that you try some of those activities. Don't miss the next installment in our series when we'll talk about culturally relevant material. See you again for the second video in this series. Thanks for watching.
Thanks, Tabitha, for your fantastic presentation. To check out other great teaching tip videos, be sure to subscribe to our American English YouTube channel. You can find resources for teachers on the American English website by clicking on the link listed here. And if you haven't already, be sure to like us on the American English for Educators Facebook page.